Hello and welcome everyone. We have a renowned face from the world of chess, Mr. Loek van Wely, who has worn many hats over the years. And as of now, we have got him in the GCL as a coach of Triveni Continental Kings, quite a successful franchise. Welcome, sir.
Yeah, my pleasure.
To get right into it, the last season was quite a successful one, and your team won the championship. How was it, and could you shed some light on the journey?
Yes, well, I have to say that before the beginning of the GCL, I mean, we are not really a favorite because we had a team with Carlsen and some Indian stars, and you had a team with Vishy and Ant. So, but I think we had a very good team spirit, and because of that, we stayed actually in the game, and because of that, we managed to bounce back when I think at some point we were dead last, and then we started to win. Suddenly we started to win some matches. We saw the light again, and well, then we suddenly played the final. And well, we all know what happened in the final. It was like an incredible, tense final till it went till the wire, and yeah, emotions were flying high, and yeah, and then we somehow won the match and won the season one, which was kind of well, incredible feeling.
I had a question regarding the whole situation of a pressure, but I'll just throw it right in now. In these kind of moments, as a coach, or even you have been a player for a long time, how do you tackle that? Because what I have come to know about you is that you have a very calm head on your shoulder. How do you like manage that? And what would be your advice for youngsters out there who are learning the craft now?
Well, you know, as a coach, I don't really fancy my life, you know, as a coach, because you know you're just watching the game, and since well, I'm also a grandmaster, and I have an opinion, and sometimes you know you want to kill some guys, you know, so it's not so funny. And if you're sitting on the sideline, it's much more difficult than when you're playing yourself, you know. But yeah, for young guys, they have to get used to this kind of situations, that you know that there's a lot of pressure, there are a lot of expectations, you know, which is for some it's not so easy, and for some it's easier because some they embrace it, you know, the tension, the pressure, and some actually need it, you know, to perform at a high level. So it can work either way, but if you, the right person will use this the pressure and the expectation in a good way.
Speaking of, it's been almost more than a year since the last or the first season of GCL, and our fans would like to know, what have you been up to since then?
Well, of course, we with Triveni, we have been speculating about how the next season will be, you know, and how to continue our success from season one, because you know, winning once is one thing, but you know, winning twice is actually more difficult. But on the other hand, I think we had some key of success. You know, we had a very good team working in the background, and we have a team which is working very well on our social media and PR department. So then it's just up to me to form the right team with the right people. And still, it's a bit of a lottery, you know. And but well, you know, everything counts, you know. So you try to create the best circumstances for your team, and then it's still okay. It's still chess, it's not. And if somebody blunders, or well, what you can do,
Speaking of the whole aspect of growing the game today and how it's done, like you mentioned, you touched upon the social media part of it and the PR part of it. Just wanted to know, how do you think the league has sort of impacted the growth of the game? Because you yourself have seen the game being popularized across a lot of decades now. How would you see, how do you see this revolution that GCL has sort of brought in with the league?
Well, you know that also Rome wasn't built in one day, so you really have to. It's going step by step, and well, it was very good. You know, that's nice that it was televised, for example, on Eurosport. You know, and people in Holland they've seen it. You know, so that's already a good step in the right direction. But okay, it's clearly it can still be improved a lot here and there. So I think it's nice to have such an event, but it's still, it takes probably years to fine tune everything. And
having said and talked about the season one, now if I have to ask you to sum it up, what were your best memories from the season one?
Well, you know, let's say if we would have lost the last match, I don't know if probably maybe it would have been 180 degrees differently, you know, my feelings, you know. But now looking back, it was just that the team atmosphere, and then just how much we were into it, you know, and I couldn't imagine nobody has seen me like that, screaming after the last, not even in my own games, you know. So it means something, that how much we were rooting for each other, and this kind of team bonding was probably what still reminds me of season one. And well, I was there with also very close with our team manager, 𝐭𝐤𝐿, you know, and since then, you know, we have been keeping in close contact. You know, also friendships have been formed because of that.
True, I can obviously sense that value of friendship does add to the whole team atmosphere for sure. Speaking of that, like the season two is there, and there are obviously a few changes here and there. How do you see the competition going into season two? And I've already heard you mention the fact that you seem to be wanting to win another trophy here.
Yes. Okay. Well, of course, after winning one, there's. Well, I wouldn't say we can only lose, but the expectations are now much higher. So, but that's why I'm now also in Delhi, you know, to watch the auction from close range, and and also actually to meet the Triveni people here, you know. That's also part of the, you know, because I want to meet the people who have been working very hard in the background. So, but season two is a challenge, because nothing is the same, and other teams they might learn from your success. So you have to come up with something new, something different, you know, change the strategies, change tactics. So, well, I don't know, it is, but at least looking forward to season two in London. It's a new challenge.
Speaking of the tactical side of the game, given your experience, what is that one surprise element that we can expect from you as a coach, advising the team that you have, which might give them a little edge over the other sides in this competition?
Well, I don't know what all the teams have been up to, let's say, regarding coaching and stuff like that, but let's say, because I've been playing myself on a kind of reasonable level, it means that I can also speak with my team players at a good level. and that helps really a lot, that you have some sort of a mutual understanding, and it can work in either way. When somebody has played a beautiful game, you can appreciate it. But on the other hand, somebody has done something really badly, you also have to, say something. It should work either way. And so that's the way you keep the guys sharp, and well, of course, technically on chess-wise, technically I can help them also to some extent, but okay, I'm not going to tell the world champions how they're going to play chess. Yeah, but that would be that I think would be a sign of disrespect. That
does make sense, sir. Having said that, you did mention that the chess was live on television and on the internet. Obviously, we got to know a lot of young people got engaged with that sport, with the league. Do you think it sort of, as a young kid, when you watch something like that, it gives a edge for those young kids to start wanting to be like players or like great grandmasters like you people?
Well, at least it gives the young guys something to work to. They can also play at this stage at some point, so they have this dream to play in the global chess league. So that's always nice, and maybe for the older players, they have seen it all, so maybe they say, okay, it's nice, but for young players it's heaven. Yeah, so that's of course something. It's good. It motivates them. And it's important that they have something to work to.
Talking about the GCA, lastly, I have one more question. What's the one thing that you find most exciting about the league?
We are kind of watching the games together, and that's when one or two are still playing and you just watching it with your teammates, your full intention, and then suddenly one guy enters the room and you haven't any clue yet what the result was, and then so your in intention what the result could have been. So it's it's like in general I like tension. I mean, otherwise life is also so boring, So, and okay, I mean, you can lose the game, you can lose the match, yeah, but if you just have a match which was without tension or without anything, then well, why you are here, yeah?
When you're like watching, and I get that sense while talking to you, when you're watching it as a coach, your mind does go and feel like, I wish I was involved in this as a player. Does that happen to you?
Yes, of course, but at the same time, since I'm in my heart still a chess player, you have 6 guys who are playing, so actually you're playing 6 games at the same time, making your life very difficult, because you're playing, you have 6 games running at the same time, 6 emotions running at the same time, and it's just a roller coaster from here to there, and yes, you're completely exhausted, but yeah, what to do? It's my job, so and I cannot complain.
It's lovely to hear the passion that you have for the game. We'll jump on to some rapid fire questions and ask you, and hope that you give us some quick answers with some descriptions if in there possible. The first question that I have is, what chess game do you remember most fondly? As a player, as a coach, which is that game that you remember the most fondly?
Well, as a coach, of course, I remember the last game from the Global Chess League. I mean, and I'm afraid that the opponent of Joris Bjerre also remembers that game. very much, but in a different way, I would say. Yeah, as a chess player, I don't know. It's like I had my ups and my downs, and at some point you have so many ups and so many downs, that it's hard to pick one. If you had one game which made you world champion or something like that, but it wasn't my case, So I had many interesting games and many tough losses, So yeah, what to say? If you, let's say, if you, I'm not a boring player, but if you're a boring player, your choice is limited. But in my case, that's definitely not the case.
Next question is what according to you is the best place to play chess? Is it indoors or outdoors? Because we have seen a lot of videos these days, people sitting on the top of the mountain and playing chess and all. Have you indulged yourself in something like that?
Well, actually, I'm like Magnus. I like to be fit, So I like to test the physical boundaries of the human body, and because of that, I was very curious how it is to play chess on high altitude. Like when, let's say, in the zone of death, above 8,000 meters, when there's like less than 30% oxygen, and also I have a brother who is a pilot, and he has been doing this test, how to fly in very thin air and how the brain is still functioning. And I'm curious how let's go to somewhere in the Himalaya and have a tournament there. Let's see who will survive. And this is what I'm looking forward to, And so I'm now in Delhi, so it's I'm pretty nearby already.
One player that you think you shared a great rivalry with?
Well, it sounds a bit arrogant, but I had kind of a rivalry with Magnus Carlsen, not particularly on the board, but off the board, So whenever it is football or basketball or cards or any game, that we are always trying to win at any cost, basically. And this was kind of fun. In chess, it was fun till maybe, I don't know, 2010 or something, till something went wrong, and something went right for him, So, yeah. And on local level in Netherlands, I had especially a rivalry with Jan Timman on the chessboard, but also kind of, verbally in the media, I was the young guy, he was the established grandmaster, and somebody was trying to kick him from his throne. And yeah, actually, I think it was also good for Timman because of the rivalry, it kept him going for at least 10 more years, So yeah, I would say Timman and Carlsen, but yeah, Carlsen definitely not for chess reasons, I would say.
Being sort of a known figure across the globe for a long time now, what is the weirdest place that you have been recognized?
Well, I don't know, but let's say it's kind of hard to say, but let's say, for example, in my local gym, they don't recognize me as a chess player. They don't. I've been also in politics. They don't recognize me as a politician. No, they recognize me as, he's the runner. So that's kind of funny, So, but yeah, sometimes it's funny when you're, let's say, with a person you consider to be more famous, and they recognize you, and they don't recognize the other guy. That's normally kind of funny, yeah. But let's say one guy was known from television, and doing some comedy show, and you're a chess player, and they recognize a chess player, which is tells also something, about.
That's true. One dish which you can cook or eat every day.
Well, I just came from Italy, and well, I love pasta, and but it has been a while that I've been cooking because I'm not. I'm married these days, so I'm not going to cook anymore. So, but I used to cook sometimes lasagna. So it's just kind of, but okay. Let for that, I think I have to go back like 20 years already, So
Lasagna
but
quite difficult to cook as far as I know.
Yeah, well, I did it my way. So
what do you do to rejuvenate yourself when you've had a long time in chess or you're stressed and all? What is your process?
well, I believe well, it's a mixture of basically doing non-chess things. It's like either just take some time off, or but I go quite whenever I can. I go to the gym. So that's the way I try to stay in good shape. But I think pure rest is also not so bad. Sometimes just to have a good sleep. And with kids, for example, it's a very challenge to have, let's say, your 8 hours of sleep.
True, that happens. Which is your go-to sport apart from chess? Like if you want to watch it or you want to enjoy, what is that sport that you go for?
Well, okay, I was now in Italy, and I went for swimming and cycling. But in swimming, I suck. But in cycling, I'm kind of good. Although in Netherlands we don't have serious mountains. But but I can tackle them, So that's so cycling. It's actually my best. And then well, I run and I play tennis and football. So, but cannot say that I'm that good. But pretty all round, I would say.
If there was one sports person from a different sport that you would like to meet, interact, or pick their brains on, who would that be?
Well, I don't know, but I'm okay. I'm basically watching a lot of NBA basketball, which is. But I must say I don't have any particularly heroes from NBA, but let's say. It would have been interesting to see what kind of how their day looks like. Let's say it's what people basically don't realize how much they have to sacrifice to be that good, and to stay that good, and year in year out, So that would be kind of nice to see. It's not that I'm particularly want to meet somebody or to take a picture with or something like that, But yeah, I just want to see how that day looks, or maybe they party all night long. I don't know, but and they're still good, I don't know, but I cannot imagine, But yeah.
Lastly, there's just one question that I want to ask you. I'm pretty sure you've been across a lot of places through your life. What is your favorite destination for a holiday?
Well, if I don't want to have any trouble with my wife, I should say El Salvador, because but yeah, it's kind of nice there, but only when I have renting the house at the sea, and then it's kind of nice, but yeah, well, basically, she told me that I'm not allowed to go on holidays alone to Cuba and Brazil, so that can also tell you something, So
Clearly, sir. Clearly, it was lovely chatting with you. I'm pretty sure our fans would love to hear from you more as we enter the league, and league happens in the month of October. So we would be hoping to catch up with you sooner again.
My pleasure. Yeah, I'm looking forward to London in October, and well, let's see. We're all curious how things will develop, and hopefully the global chess league will become, let's say, like the NBA in basketball. Yeah?
We surely hope so. Thank you so much, sir.